Hey Todd, I know you've traveled a lot. What countries have you lived in?
I've lived in three countries. I've traveled to many, many countries, but I've actually lived in three. I lived in England for 1 year.
Mm.
I lived in Thailand for 4 years, and I have lived in Japan for 15 years.
Wow. So when you lived in England, why did you live there?
It was the first country I traveled to after college, and I had a work permit, a work visa for 1 year. And I worked at a pub restaurant, which was great. It was in the countryside,
Mm.
and I really enjoyed it. And then I did that for 6 months. I lived near Cambridge, so I was near Cambridge University.
Hmm.
And then after that, I moved to London, and again, I worked at a restaurant, and I lived in London and just worked.
Wow. So it was after college. How old were you?
I was 23 years old.
Oh, and living in London, that must have been fun.
It was fun, and interestingly, when I went to England, I could not speak English. So I could not understand British people. It took me maybe 2 months before I could understand their English. So it was very, very difficult to understand British people when I first moved there.
Ah, so you liked it.
I did like England. It was fun. It was my first country. But the weather was cold for me.
Ah,
So I'm from California,
right.
and California in the United States is very warm. So I didn't like the weather, but that's okay because all British people don't like the weather too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, everybody complains about the weather.
Ah, so after England, did you move someplace warmer?
I did. Right after England, I moved to Thailand, and I lived in Thailand for over 4 years.
Wow. Why did you live in Thailand?
I was traveling, and in Thailand, I had no money and I needed a job, and I wanted to stay in Thailand, so I became an English teacher.
Really?
Yeah,
Did you teach English there for 4 years?
I did. So I went there and I began teaching English. Then I got a teaching course certificate to teach English in Thailand, and I really enjoyed it. The Thai students were really fun. And Thailand is a great place to live because the weather is really nice,
Mm.
the people are really friendly, and the food is delicious. It has the best food in the world, I think.
I've also heard that Thailand is beautiful. Is it true?
It is. It has many, many beautiful islands, and it has lots of beautiful places with nature in the mountains. It has jungles, it has beautiful beaches, so it's a nice place to live.
Mm, so you liked Thailand too.
I did. Thailand was great. Yeah.
So England, Thailand, you said next was Japan?
Yeah, so next was Japan, and Japan's nice. I am a teacher, an English teacher in Japan, and I love teaching English in Japan. Like Thailand, the food is really, really good. The people are nice. The scenery is really beautiful. So Japan is really nice.
Are there fun things to do in Japan?
Yes, actually, I like Japan the most because you get everything. You get lots of beautiful nature, so you
Mm.
can go hiking, you can go see beautiful beaches, you can go to really nice islands. But also, Japan has many, many nice cities. So you can go to Tokyo, Osaka, Fukuoka, and the cities have lots to do. There's good shopping, great restaurants. It's easy to travel in Japan by train and bus, so it's really nice.
Ah, that sounds like the best of both worlds.
Yeah, it is. Definitely a good place to live. Meg, we are talking about traveling and visiting other countries. What countries have you traveled to?
Ah, I've been to quite a few different countries. For example, Spain, Belize, and Indonesia.
Wow, three different continents.
Yeah, pretty far apart.
Wow, that's cool. So, Spain, that must be a really nice country. What
Mm.
did you think of Spain?
Spain is really beautiful. There's a lot of beautiful nature and also some nice cities. While I was there, I lived in a small city called Cáceres.
Oh, nice. Are the people really friendly in Spain?
Yes, actually, the people are very friendly and very helpful, especially if you're lost.
Oh, that's great. I hear Spanish food is really, really good.
Spanish food is delicious. I lived with a Spanish family, and my Spanish mom cooked delicious meals every day for lunch. In Spain, seafood is really popular, so I ate a lot of fish and shrimp.
Oh, I love fish and shrimp.
Me too.
Mm. Now, Spain is really warm, right?
Yes, Spain was very hot while I was there during the summer.
Oh, yeah? How hot? How hot does it get?
It got up past 40 degrees Celsius during the summer.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty hot.
Does it rain?
It does rain, but when I was there in the summer, it didn't rain very often.
So, what about Belize? Belize is a really small country.
Belize is very small, but it's also hot, similar to Spain in the summer.
Why did you go to Belize?
I went to Belize on a study trip for school, and I stayed there for about 2 weeks.
Okay. Now, does Belize have good food?
Belize also has good food. There was a family that cooked for us, and we had a lot of delicious, almost Mexican type food.
Oh, really? So, for example, what do you eat? Like, what do people eat in Belize?
People eat, it's kind of like a taco, but flat, with a tortilla and some meat and vegetables on top and some spices that make it really delicious.
So, the last country is Indonesia. When did you go to Indonesia?
I actually went to Indonesia just last year.
Oh, whoa. How
Hmm.
long did you stay?
I only stayed there for about a week.
Oh, yeah. Ooh, short trip.
Yeah, it was a short trip, but I was just visiting some friends there.
Where did you go?
I went to Jakarta and Bali.
Oh, okay. So, I hear Bali has really beautiful beaches. Is it true?
Yeah, it's true. There are a lot of famous and beautiful beaches in Bali.
Oh, did you surf in Bali?
I've never surfed before. Usually when I went to the beach, I just wanted to put my feet in the water.
Oh, yeah. Now, Bali also has very famous scenery on the inside, like the rice fields. Did you see the rice fields of Bali?
No, I didn't see the rice fields, but I did go to some famous historical spots.
So, of the three countries, Spain, Belize, and Indonesia, what country was your favorite?
Mm, Maybe Spain was my favorite because I love learning language and it was really nice to stay with my Spanish family.
Yeah, I could see that. I really want to go to Spain, and I hope to go soon.
I hope you can go too. It's beautiful.
So, John, do you like to play golf?
Well, no, I don't play golf very much, but I play disc golf.
Disc golf? What's that?
Well, some people call it frisbee golf. Basically, there are courses at parks. It's similar to golf, but the courses are much smaller. You use frisbees, or flying discs, and you have to throw it. So it's different from golf. You're not aiming for a small hole, but actually, you need to throw the frisbee into a basket.
Oh, that sounds fun. Is it very easy?
Well, it can be easy, or it can be very difficult. It depends on the course. Many different parks have different disc golf courses, and you can be a easy beginner or you can be an expert. It all depends on how much you want to get involved.
I see.
My friends and I, we're beginners, so we just like to have fun. So we just do the easy courses and have a good time. I think it's
Ah,
relaxing.
so you only need one frisbee?
Well, actually, it's better to have two or three. You can play with one, but in fact, when you learn more about disc golf, there are different sizes and weights of the discs.
Why would you want a different size disc?
Well, it's similar to the clubs in golf. When you throw your first throw, you want it to go very far, so you should use a
Mm,
heavier disc. But when you're near the basket, you should make a short throw, so you want a lightweight disc.
I see. That's interesting.
Yeah, so as I said, when you want to become an expert, you have to spend more money to get better equipment. It's like any sport, I guess. In fact, they have disc golf competitions now. So you can even participate in a tournament and win some prize money.
Did you ever compete?
Oh no, I'm just a beginner. I don't think I want to be too serious about it.
So golf has 18 holes. How about disc golf? Does it have 18 holes too?
Well, not usually. Golf courses are very large, but disc golf courses are usually found in parks. So they usually have only 6 holes. But you can play 18 holes by doing all 6 3 times each.
I see. How do you keep score?
Scorekeeping is like real golf, so the winner should have the lowest score. Every time you throw a frisbee or a flying disc, you have to mark 1 point.
Mm.
So if you can do a hole in one, that means you can hit the basket on your first try. Then you'll only have 1 point. That's best.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not that good at it, so usually I have 3 or 4 points for each course.
I see. You said disc golf is at the park. Do you have little kids playing in the middle of the course?
Sometimes the kids, of course, they can play wherever they want. And the courses do go through the park where kids play, so we have to be very careful. And we have to use good sportsmanship to wait for the course to be clear.
Mm. It sounds like a lot of fun.
It is fun. Maybe you can join us next time.
That sounds great. Thank you.
So Sarah, I see you eat soup every day at work. Why are you eating soup every day?
That's because I love to cook soup.
So you make the soup?
Yes, it's very easy to make.
So you cook it and then you just bring it to work every day?
Yeah, I just make a lot on Monday, and then I bring it to work every day of the week.
Oh, nice. So how do you make the soup? What's your secret?
Well, I like to cook very easy, so I buy meat that's already cut up, usually chicken, and then some rice, usually brown rice, and then I buy some vegetables. So after I bought the ingredients, I chop them up, and I put them all together in water until it boils and add some seasoning.
Okay. So you say the water boils. So as soon as the water boils, that's when you put in all the ingredients?
Yes, that's right.
So you don't put in the ingredients before the water boils?
No, I guess it's just easier for the water to be hot, because then the vegetables and the meat cook a little faster.
So how do you give the soup flavoring?
I usually add salt and pepper, maybe some garlic, and depending on the type of soup, either maybe some soy sauce or lemon juice.
Okay. Do you put in the flavoring after you put in the ingredients or before you put in the ingredients?
Maybe after, but usually right about all at the same time.
Okay.
So I just put everything in at one time.
And then after you cook the soup, do you put the soup in the refrigerator? Do you let it sit outside?
I usually eat some right then. And I also put it in containers for the week. But I let it sit in the containers out on the counter for a while for it to cool before I put it in the refrigerator.
All right. And so you don't put it in the refrigerator until it is cool?
Until it's about room temperature.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. And then how do you heat it up? Do you heat it up in a pot or do you heat it up in the microwave?
In the microwave. It's the easiest.
Yeah, nice. So you make enough for 5 meals?
Maybe, sometimes. If I think I will get tired of eating it during the week, then maybe I'll just make enough for 3 or 4 meals. But if it's some kind that I think is really delicious, and I know I'll want to eat it every day, then I'll make a lot.
Well, if that happens, when you make the soup, you can make it for 6 or 7 and give me a bowl.
Okay, I'll do that next time.
Oh, great. Thanks.
Hi, Todd.
Hey, Sarah, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Oh, not bad.
So I heard you were from San Francisco.
That's right. Yeah, I was born there and I lived in the city for many years.
Cool. What is the most interesting thing about your city?
Well, San Francisco has many interesting things, but the most interesting thing is probably the architecture. There's lots of very unique buildings, and the most unique building is probably the Transamerica building. It's a building like a pyramid, and it's nice.
Wow, that's really cool.
Mhm.
What is the most expensive area in San Francisco?
Well, it is very, very expensive. The most expensive area is a place called Pacific Heights, and it's on the highest hill in San Francisco, and it overlooks the bay. It's a really, really beautiful place.
Hmm.
That area by far has the best views of the city.
Hmm. What is the most beautiful place in San Francisco?
Well, actually, the most beautiful place is outside the city. It's a place called Muir Woods, and it has the tallest trees in the world. And some of these trees are really old. They're the oldest trees in North America. Some of them are over 2,000 years old.
Wow, sounds like some place I would like to see. So it sounds really expensive. Where's the cheapest place to live?
The cheapest place to live is a place called Sunset, and Sunset is on the west side, and the houses are kind of old and they're a little bit cheap. But one thing about Sunset is it has the nicest view of the ocean, and you could watch the sunset every night. That's why it's called the Sunset area.
Hmm. If I wanted to go there, when is the best time to visit?
Ooh, the best time is probably in the fall because that's when the weather is the nicest. It's not too cold and it's not too hot, and it doesn't rain that much.
So when would be the worst time to visit?
The worst time to visit would be probably February and March, because February and March are the coldest and wettest months. So, well, March isn't that cold, but sometimes it's wet, so it rains a lot.
Wow, that sounds really great. I want to go there.
Yeah, you should. It's a great place.